Did you sing nursery rhymes throughout your childhood, believing they were just innocent little tunes made up to amuse children and adults alike? However, did you realise that there were dark stories behind most of these childhood ditties? It is believed that nursery rhymes were a way for adults to keep their children informed and aware of some of the dark realities of the world, and was told in a way that they could easily understand. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row. The Mary referred to in this rhyme is Mary I, daughter of Henry VIII. Henry VIII wanted to marry Anne Boleyn and requested that the Catholic Church grant him a divorce, but was refused. So he left the Catholic Church and created the Anglican Church. As a result of this, England was divided between Catholics and Protestants. When Mary I came to the throne, she wanted to convert England back to Catholicism, going contrary to England's wishes, as in Mary, Mary, quite contrary. However, most of England was happy to remain Protestant. Mary only reigned from 1553 to 1558, but in that time carried out the execution of thousands of Protestants. The silver bells and cockle shells are torture devices from that period, and the pretty maids all in a row are referred to the hundreds of women burnt at the stake for the crime of being Protestant. Three blind mice. Staying with Mary I's bloodthirsty theme, this nursery rhyme was dedicated to a reign where she was also referred to as Bloody Mary. Three blind mice, three blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all run after the farmer's wife, who cut off the tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as three blind mice? The three mice are believed to be three Protestant bishops, Hugh Latimer, Nicholas Radley, and the Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Cranmer, who in order to preserve the Protestant Church, conspired to overthrow Mary. Unfortunately, they failed, were arrested, and then burned at the stake for treason and heresy. To add an even more nasty side to this violent episode in English history, there is a story that she also blinded and dismembered them, giving credence to the already gruesome nursery rhyme. Jack and Jill. This traditional British story dates back to the 17th century, or possibly even further, as the phrase Jack and Jill was even used by Shakespeare. There are many interpretations, but no one knows for sure what the origins of the famous nursery rhyme really are, and one may never know where the story of Jack and Jill originates. One story was about a couple having an illicit affair, with Jack tripping over a large rock causing his demise, with Jill losing her life in childbirth. Another story involves a young couple, with Jill, a local spinster, and Jack, her mysterious lover. In this version of events, Jill becomes pregnant by Jack and the couple is overjoyed. But when Jack goes up the hill to collect some water, he tragically loses his life when struck by a dislodged boulder. Either way, they were not happy fairy tale endings. But one thing appears certain, that this innocent nursery rhyme seems to refer to events that are quite a bit darker than you would expect for a children's story. Many of us grew up singing only the first verse, but some people may be surprised to find that as it goes on, there appears to be a nasty case of sibling rivalry, where they end up being beaten by their mother. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Up got Jack, and home did trot as fast as he could caper. He went to bed and bound his head with vinegar and brown paper. When Jill came in, how did she grin to see Jack's paper plaster. Mother vexed, did whip her next for causing Jack's disaster. Ring o' Roses. The original lyrics are, ring a roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, we all fall down. The king has sent his daughter to fetch a pail of water, a tissue, we all fall down. The robin on the steeple is singing to the people, a tissue, we all fall down. Ring o' Roses is believed to be of pagan origin, suggesting that it was used to ward off the Black Death during the Great Plague of London. Most children have sung this tune in the playground, where they dance around holding hands in a circle before dropping to the floor. Many experts explain that the falling down mentioned in the song is a reference to losing your life, that a rosy rash was a symptom of the plague, and posies of herbs were carried as protection and to ward off the smell of the disease. Sneezing or coughing was a final fatal symptom, and all fall down was exactly what happened. Seesaw Margery door. Seesaw Margery door, Johnny shall have a new master. He shall earn but a penny a day because he can't work any faster. Seesaw Margery door is a traditional nursery rhyme dating back to 18th century England. The lyrics we know today were first recorded in the Mother Goose Melody collection of 1765 London. Originally the words might have gone back as far as 1700 and had been used by sawyers during work so as to keep up a rhythm while they sawed. Although it has been sung by children for centuries, unfortunately there is another theory about this song which is not about having fun on a seesaw at the playground, but the lyrics suggest the song is actually about the horrific conditions children suffered in the Victorian period. It is believed that the tune was created to tease the poor kids who were forced to earn a living in workhouses. Baa Baa Black Sheep. Everyone knows the version that is regularly sung by children even today, though some have changed the lyrics, wrongly believing it is racial. But the wool of black sheep may have been prized, as it could be made into dark cloth without dyeing. The rhyme was first printed in Tommy Thumb's Pretty Songbook, the oldest surviving collection of English language nursery rhymes, published around 1744, with the original lyrics very similar to those still used today. Baa Baa Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, old mate, I have 3 bags full. 2 for my master, 1 for my dame, none for the little boy that cries in the lane. The words have not changed very much in 2.5 centuries, except that in the later version, the little boy down the lane is rewarded rather than punished. There are many theories put forward to explain the meaning of the rhyme, that it is a complaint against taxes levied on the English wool trade. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. I'm sure you'd be surprised to find that originally Humpty Dumpty was not an egg, but was the name of a cannon used by the Royalists during the English Civil War, which was fought between Royalists called Cavaliers and Parliamentarians called Roundheads. The Civil War raged from 1642 to 1649, and in June of 1648, Humpty Dumpty was stationed on the walls of Colchester in Essex in eastern England. It was one of several cannons erected to try and keep Parliamentarians' army from taking the city. The following month, however, the parliamentary forces heavily damaged the walls beneath Humpty Dumpty with their own artillery, where Humpty Dumpty had a great fall and broke into pieces. All the king's horses and all the king's men were the Royalists, who were the king's men fighting in support of King Charles I, who went on to lose the war and also his head, where the Roundheads leader, Oliver Cromwell, went on to become Lord Protector of the British Isles.